A timeless favorite about personal sacrifice and the drive to overcome one of the great American struggles is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison, published in 1952. In the book, the protagonist, simply called narrator, is a black man who lives his life as a model citizen and continuously tries to uplift himself and his community. But at every turn, he comes up against a gauntlet of discrimination that leads to his ultimate and tragic end.
Ralph Ellison started out to write a war novel, but then one day he just put down, "I am an invisible man." And he wondered, where did that come from? And the story came out of just that statement.
I had no desire to destroy myself, even if I destroyed the machine. I wanted freedom, not destruction. It was exhausting, for no matter what the scheme I conceived, there was one constant flaw: myself.
Invisible Man is an incredible tour de force that explored race in a new way by delving into the idea of social invisibility amongst Black people, specifically Black men. What does it mean to be hyper-visible, yet outrageously and completely invisible at the same time? I feel that way all the time still.
The first time I read Invisible Man, I was about 14 or 15 years old. I can remember just being confused by the book and the seriousness and depth of it. The politics of the book were very much relevant and contemporary.
Wynton Marsalis met Ralph Ellison in the early 80s, and the two became close friends.
I learned an unbelievable amount. I respected his intelligence and his insight. I was grateful for the time he spent with me. I loved him. What could I say about it? It's like somebody in my family.
Ellison exploded onto the literary scene with the publication of Invisible Man, which won the National Book Award and spent 16 weeks on the bestseller list.
Invisible Man is the most poetic attempt in American literature, not just Afro-American, at defining, explaining, and helping you to see exactly what that gauntlet of things are from the eyes of a regular person. The narrator, good dude, not bad, trying to make sense out of the world, and everything he touches is hot. Every time he puts his hand on something, he's getting shocked. Every person he trusts, all of the establishment, is all corrupt. And all of that corruption is for him to accept a position of inferiority unquestioned. And I really could relate to that because that was very much the life that I was living. I consider the book to be a blueprint for modern living and the type of hopelessness that the narrator concludes when you look across the landscape of our country for the average everyday American, white and Black, you have that feeling. What can you do? You can hate some other people, but they're not what the problem is.
The narrator is faced with a huge systemic problem in the same way that other tragic heroes are, like Winston Smith in 1984. The system is bad, right? There is this racism that is inherent in the whole system, and the ability to overcome that seems basically impossible.
When he goes down underground and his conclusion is to embrace his invisibility, it's like the conclusion that every man gets when there's too much for him or her. My name is Wynton Marsalis. If you want to be a part of the Great American Read, go to our PBS website and vote. We need you to vote.